You're watching Every Day's a Saturday, USMC veteran. Let's go, baby. And here's your host, Bryan. What's going on, friends and family? Welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk with Bryan. We're going to finish it up with our final third story of resilience. Can't wait to get to it. But before we do, what do you guys got in your cup? And let's go ahead and brew us up some coffee, huh? All right. Well, today I went with the Don Francisco, the French vanilla nut, and I got some hazelnut coffee mates in there. That's probably my favorite one, honestly, is the hazelnut. Last episode, I couldn't even remember what the hell it was. Had one of those like I'm on camera brain fart moments. Trust me, if you ever did this, you would get it. But hey, how's everything going for you guys out there? How is 2025 treating you? Like I told you guys before, mine's been kind of a roller coaster, I'm glad that I've in a better place, mentally, because I think that it makes things getting through things a lot easier sometimes when you're able to have a clear mind and work on yourself. But when you're all bogged down with stuff, everything that happens ends up feeling like a travesty to you, and it feels like the world's against you. But when you get to a healthier place, like I said, it just gets a little bit easier. Um, let me tell you guys, if I wanted to have a funny show going on, and I'm crazy here. Yeah, you guys are all gonna think I'm super crazy. But have you ever wanted something as a kid, right? You really wanted something so bad as a kid. Now you're an adult and you can go get these items or whatever you really wanted as a kid. Maybe you needed to fulfill it. Yeah, well, I did one of those things. I love Great Danes, right? I don't know. I love Great Danes, the miniature horses, dogs, they're huge. Well, telling the wife I kind of wanted one, and so it just so happens we find one. Well, we think we find one, right? But no, there's two. And it's two for the price of one. So I don't feel that bad, right? And we crazily go and get these two big dogs. They're 9 months old. And when I say they're beast, they're beast. At 9 months old, standing up, the dude, when they get on their shoulder, their paws on my shoulder, they are literally looking me eye to eye. Just a big teddy bears, though. My gosh, they are the most lovable dogs I've ever had in my life and the most affectionate dogs. And they really don't like to get in trouble whatsoever. Well, this morning, we had to look like a daggone circus. At this point in time, I think I need to get like a camera outside for these moments. But the other day, I take the dogs out. Well, I don't take the dogs out. I take one of them out. One of them's name's Winchester. The other one's name's Onyx. That were their name given to them. They're AKC registered, so they already had names prior to us getting them. Because I was going to call one of them Snoop Dogg for sure, but it didn't work out that way. But anyhow, I take the one Winchester with me to go get coffee. We go to Starbucks. He does a great job. Bring him home, no problem. Well, today, my son going to school, my wife's like, "Hey, you want to take one of them?" And, it's like, "Yeah, oh, yeah. Why don't we take both of them?" So I was like, "All right." I knew this was probably a bad idea to begin with. So we go. I have the first dog, Winchester, with me, and I'm taking him up to the door of the vehicle. And as I'm trying to open up the vehicle door, he's he's like not really wanting to get in. And as I'm trying to get him in the door, my wife lets the other one go in and thinking he's just going to jump in the van. No. Homeboy just takes off and they just start running and like they're like living their best life running around, and they're so fast. They're so fast. You ain't catching them dogs, dude. Like when they're running, they're fast because they got them big old legs. They're just like, and they're not they're not trying to like get away. They're just having a good time. But I mean, I'm out there trying to corral them, get them back in the house. The neighbor, she was out there in her car, like warming her car up, and she's like, "You need help?" And I was like, "No, it's okay." It was like, "They're just big teddy bears." I didn't want her to freak out because these dudes are huge. I mean, and they look like they're horses running around. And when yeah, cleaning up there, you know what? Loads. And that just really upped my job and stuff. I'll say this though, they are very therapeutic dogs, the most affectionate dogs. Yes, that was a little bit of a shit show trying to gather them up, and I told the wife and the kid, and I was like, "Hey, listen, that obviously didn't work. We're not going to do it that way next time. Let's try this a different way. Get the harness on or something." But I mean, listen, when those dogs want to go somewhere, you're not really going to stop them because they have a lot of power to them. They're so freaking strong. Gosh dang. All right. Well, enough about these big ass Great Danes. That's probably like some kind of a blooper show that I need to get going with these dogs and all the fun things that happens with Great Danes. Not just one, but two of them. Gosh damn. And I owe this to my buddy out there. I went over to his house and hung out with him and his wife and his kids and his family, and he had three Great Danes, three of them, and they were so loving. And honestly, that just like put that seed in my head. Like, I've always wanted one of those. Here I am with two. Well, it's this is probably the last. Maybe I could do one more round of a Great Dane, but honestly, my age and stuff like that, I don't know if I could do another set of these. They only live to be about, if you're lucky, 7 to 10 years. Um, some of them even 6 years, so they don't have a big lifespan. But you got to have a little bit of some strength and some power to kind of get them where you want them to go sometimes. Because if they don't want to go somewhere, they turn into just some straight donkeys, and they like just tense up. All right, we're gonna get back to our story of resilience. I can't wait to get to this one, but before we do, let's get a quick definition of what resilience is.
Resilience. It involves mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. Resilience can be seen in various forms, such as physical, mental, emotional, and social resilience. It is not just about bouncing back from setbacks but also about using healthy coping skills to handle difficulties in ways that foster strength and growth.
All right. Resilience is something that we definitely are taught in the military to adapt and overcome and to, make the best out of any situation that we're in or any situation that we're put in. And these last, these stories that I've done right here, these guys totally define resilience. When they could just totally give up on themselves or have an excuse not to do something. These guys don't make excuses. These guys are out there doing great things. This guy right here is Sal Gonzalez. He's a United States Marine veteran, machine gunner. Man, he wasn't in very long before things really went sour for him, and he went right off into war. And dude got blown up 7 times. 7 times. The seventh one is the one that left him very injured. The other ones, he was concussed and stuff like that. So he's been through a lot, and he has an amazing story. Grew up in Southern California, and and kind of in the gang life and things like that. So it kind of made him a bit harder, and made him able to kind of be able to go through the things that he's done. And like I said, you guys are really going to enjoy this story about Sal Gonzalez. He was interview 67. And so here's his story. We'll get ready to play that for you guys. And so stand by, and here we go.
Third and final story of resilience is with Marine veteran and singer, songwriter Sal Gonzalez. He was on the show for season 2, interview 67.
So I joined the Marine Corps. I wanted to be either an armorer, either somebody that like fixes guns and gives them to the dudes that are going out and using them, or actually the dude using the guns. And I became a machine gunner in the Marine Corps Infantry. I was with 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines. I went through the School of Infantry there at Camp Pendleton, and then I was stationed actually not far from where they train SOI, the School of Infantry, right there on John Basilone Road in Camp Pendleton, California. If you go just like 2 or 3 miles up the road, there's a part of the base called San Mateo, and that's where 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines is. And that's where I spent most of my time in the Marine Corps. Well, I say in the Marine Corps. I was there 6 months. Half of that time was spent in Palm Springs doing training, and the other half was spent at
The
ranges.
stumps. Yeah.
Yep. And then we deployed the summer of 04, and it was September 1st. We were in country, and October 31st is the day I got injured. So 2 months in, I got blown up 7 times while I was there.
Gosh, damn, bro.
6 of those times, they like popped the tire, scratched my paint, shit like that. Gave me a bit of a knocking around in the brain, but basically we walked away from 6 of them, and that 7th one was it was a shape charge, and it's basically a type of armor penetration thing that turns your own armor into shrapnel.
Oh, sheesh.
And they buried it in this flower bed. And as we drove around the flower bed, it went boom. And it hit my buddy Kenny. It hit me in the leg. And then it hit my lieutenant. And unfortunately, my lieutenant was killed. His name was Matthew Lynch. He was from Long Island, New York. Awesome dude. 6'2", 6'3", 250, just would take you to hell and bring you back alive. Like, awesome dude. But yeah, we got hit that day, and I woke up inside the Humvee, which was new. And I like did what I could, because what they were doing was they would create casualties that would hit, disable a vehicle. And then as we were trying to figure that stuff out, either get wounded out or just get stuff fixed so that we could move on, they would attack again to create more casualties. And being a good machine gunner, I reached back up and I tried to get back up to my gun to try and create some sort of security, and my left leg was not moving. It was not doing what I wanted it to do. And I looked down and it started bending in a weird way. And I was like, that doesn't normally do that. I'm gonna lay back down and chill out for a second and do what Marines do best, and that's let Doc take care of us, let the Navy do their job.
Yeah. Doc up.
Yeah, Doc Culata pulled me out of the Humvee and got to work on me, stabilized me, popped me full of morphine. He got Kenny out, stabilized him. He got the lieutenant out. I think he got to the lieutenant first, and there was not much he could do for him. And then he moved on to us. And I think in order of casualty, Kenny was worse off than me because he got hurt basically head to toe. He got peppered with shrapnel. Mine was only my leg, so
Oh my gosh.
in order of casualty, I was least affected. And so they finally got to me. They got me off to a field hospital, and I fell asleep on their operating table. I woke up and I'm in a hospital room with my family around me, my mom and my dad and my siblings and stuff. And I'm like, how are you guys doing in Iraq? And they're like, no, 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 you're in Maryland. You've been in a coma for a week. Both of your
Wow.
lungs collapsed. You almost died a few times. Your legs in shambles, but you're alive. And you're gonna we're gonna make it through this. And I was like, okay. So and that's when I met the Wounded Warrior Project. Because when I came home, that same thing was 10x because not only
Because
was
PTSD.
not only was it the hypervigilance, but on top of
Yeah.
that, I was like fucking alleyways and rooftops. And you know how many alleyways and rooftops are in East LA, California, son?
Yeah, bro.
So it was just constant anxiety. And I didn't realize I didn't have words. I didn't know what PTSD was. I
Nah.
didn't know
Yeah.
what a
Still early around that time, dude, when they weren't really identifying it. 2005 for sure, because I got
but
it
like
2004.
bro,
Yeah.
I've had a classmate or friend die from the time that I was in the fourth or fifth grade until the time I graduated high school. Either a classmate or a close friend. Let that sink in. What the fuck are you going to talk to me about post traumatic stress, dog?
Yeah.
So I've been living with a lot of trauma my whole life, and all of a sudden the experience of war was again tenfold because it
Mhm.
wasn't just a classmate, it was my homie, it was a close friend. 10 of my friends were killed in action in that campaign that we spent in 2004 2005. And
And those sounds, bro. I don't care where you're at. There's you can't mimic those sounds that you heard over there.
yeah, it's
Mm.
life is different, life was
Right.
different.
Yeah.
And one of the homies that I met in the hospital, his name is Ryan. He's missing an arm. He's my brother from another mother. Together we make a full person. Um, he called me up and he goes, "Hey man, there's this thing in Nashville called CMA Fest. I know you like country music because I got into it in high school, and then slowly but surely, you get in the Marine Corps, you serve with dudes from everywhere, and all of a sudden, you know who Garth Brooks is, and I fell in love
Yeah.
because it's basically the same thing as like my mom's corrido music
Right,
and
bro.
stuff
You just
from
have
the
appreciation for music, you know?
I do, and I
Yeah.
love
Right.
storytelling. I love storytelling in music. That's like my jam. That's what I live for. I want you to tell me a story in your music. Don't just make me happy or don't just make me want to dance. I want to hear a story.
Right. Yeah, for
And
sure.
country music that's what it's about, man. Three chords and the truth. Like that's what country music is all about, and that's
You
what
courting the
my
truth.
mother's music was about. That's what all the music that I grew up listening to, loving was about, was just stories and pain and giving that off to the world. And I really fell in love with country music, man. And in the hospital, even more so, as I was in Texas. Who doesn't love country music in Texas? I mean, spend enough time in Texas, you're gonna love some George Strait. I'll tell you what. And Pat Green and all the other guys, Casey Donahue band. Don't you Texas weirdos come at me. I know my Texas country. The Wilder Blues, my homies. Okay, leave me alone. Anyway,
Shit. Gotta set
uh,
that shit straight real quick.
yeah. And so I was like, yeah, let's go. I'll come out to Nashville for CMA Fest, and I fell in love with this city, man. It was a big city with a small town feel. Because like one, you could be in Nashville proper and be in the big city, go to bars and do the whole like downtown touristy sort of thing,
Yeah.
or you can go drink at a bar with dudes that are welders and who work in factories. Luckiest man on the planet, dude. Like if you're lucky as a vet, you have two or three friends that you grew up with that either have been through some shit in life that they find that stuff
Get
funny
it.
and they get it. Like I have 3 or 4 friends from high school that they're my friends till the day I die. They come to visit me. I go to visit them. We hang out. We have, whenever we're around each other, we hang out. If you're even luckier, you have a small group of friends like that are vets that have been through similar things, like I found with my friends in Wounded Warrior Project, and then my friend Stephen Cochran here in town, who we talked about earlier. He started this thing called the hashtag Stop 22 tour, where it was just a bunch of vets getting together playing music. Because there's a lot of us who play music, but
Yeah.
there wasn't like a place that was like special. Hey, you're a vet, you have stage time here. And so he created that, and I helped him. I was one of the first dudes that like went to show up because we were friends before he started it. So he was like, I'm doing this thing, come and play. I was like, done. So I showed up, and that thing has turned into it's in multiple states now. We've got them going on in Michigan, down in Florida. We've got them here in Tennessee. I know there's been a couple in Colorado, and it's like it's turned into this whole thing that is just like vets helping vets.
Yeah.
And it's again, I'm the luckiest man alive, man. I happen to have this skill set of playing music and writing songs that allowed me to stay sane in my darkest of times, because I could just put my pain down on paper. The funny thing that you don't realize is that the more you talk about your own stuff, the easier it gets to talk about, and the easier it gets to talk about, the more you realize that it held power over you.
Yep.
Then you're like, oh, the less and less power it holds over you, the less and less it's always going to be a significant part of your life, but it just stops being such a sticking point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
before I would think about getting injured, and I'd just be kind of fucked up for an hour or two, you know what I mean? Or fucked up for a day, or would just angry or thinking whatever. I'd have overcome with emotions. And now I talk about it all the time. I think about getting blown up the day I got blown up almost daily. It doesn't mess with my day at all anymore. It holds zero power over me anymore.
Love it.
And if I can leave you with anything, in your audience with anything, if you're going through some shit, find you a confidant, whether that's a therapist or not. Find you somebody that you can talk to about something, and talk to them. And just talk to them. Get it off your chest.
Yep.
You'd be surprised what that would do. And if you're thinking about ending your misery, just know that the world's better off with you in it than with you not. And I don't want to say it's selfish, because I get it, you're hurting. But just know that when you go, there's a lot of people that love you that are going to be hurting. And people you don't even realize.
Yep.
So try and smile more, try and love more. Reach out to the people you care about, and just let them know you love them. Just say, hey, I love you, dude. And that's it.
All right. That was an amazing story. Sal Gonzalez is an amazing human as well. Just such a down to earth guy. Had an amazing time while he was on my show. I know he got to play in Hero Stock. I got to watch that streaming, and I thought, man, wow, how lucky everybody was to get to hear all those amazing artists, including Sal Gonzalez. He's, like I said, just a down to earth dude. Love him, and he's got some amazing things that he got to do this past year, 2024. I'm gonna let you guys see something I thought was absolutely cool, and I'm sure he absolutely had a great time. But stand by. We're gonna watch another 5-minute video of him, and then after that, we'll go ahead and do a send off. But let's go ahead and kind of see what amazing things Sal Gonzalez been up to. Not only did he get to have his grand debut somewhere, but something that you guys didn't see, and I didn't even know while I had him on my show until afterwards, is he actually was on America's Got Talent. And I actually like watching that show. So when I found that, I was like, dang, bro. I texted him. I was like, man, why didn't you tell me that you were on America's Got Talent? I would have loved to have that part, and shown that part. But he pretty modest guy, doesn't talk a lot about all that kind of stuff, but I thought it was super cool. But anyways, go ahead and we're going to see his grand debut. And I'll get on out.
Hey folks, my name's Sal Gonzalez, and I'm making my opera debut here tonight at Salute the Troops. As a recording artist, you hope one day that you'll be asked to play this thing, and it comes and you don't think it's real. I'm gonna show off my embroidery, my Mexican heritage with my mariachi shirt. I was born in East Los Angeles, California. I was raised there. My whole early life was there, and music was a part of it from the very beginning. My earliest memory is standing in the front seat of my dad's 85 Bronco as he was driving down the road. Yes, very dangerous. My dad played in bands growing up. He was a bass player. He made a mistake when I was 4. He let me up on stage with him to play my aunt's wedding, and he subsequently created a monster. And when I got to high school, I started playing in bands and playing guitar. Singing was always there for me. Songwriting became a huge part of my life when I was in high school. Both my parents immigrated here. They instilled in me a love for this country by just showing me where they came from and showing me all of the things that we were afforded by being born on this side of the border. My whole path in life changed when I joined the Marine Corps. I was in high school when 9/11 happened. And when this country was going to go to war, I felt like I needed to step up and do my part. I was very grateful to this country for all that they'd afforded me and my family. Went off to boot camp, became a machine gunner with 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, the most decorated battalion in the Marine Corps. And a little less than a year later, I was in Ramadi, Iraq. I was there 2 months, and in 2 months, I got blown up 7 times. And the last one, unfortunately, went through the rear left passenger door. It injured my friend Kenny, injured myself in the leg, resulting in the amputation of my left leg below the knee. And it unfortunately killed my lieutenant. His name was Matt Lynch. I brought him with me tonight. I got his picture. Matt and I bonded over music. He was also a musician. He played guitar. And I remember telling Matt about all my dreams and all the things I wanted to do in life. So it was a very special relationship. I felt very close to him. And for a long time when I got home, I felt guilty that I survived and he didn't. I took a shot with him right before sound check. Over on monitor. Nice to meet you. So I don't mean to not sound grateful, because the good Lord knows I am, for sparing me my life on the day he took my friend. Heroes is a special song. I got the idea, this older gentleman who is like the typical Vietnam veteran. He had the cut-off sleeves and the leather vest and the hat with all of the things. And he shook my hand and he said, "Thank you for your service. You're a hero." The heroes ain't the ones who make it home. On the way home, I didn't feel right. I didn't feel good about that word, about that label of hero, because literally everybody I've served with, been in the hospital with, who's been wounded better or worse than me, more tragically, less tragically, none of us think we're heroes. All of us think we were just dudes doing our job. If you're going through anything harsh in your life and you write a song about it, you can take pain and make it beautiful all of a sudden. It's a really powerful art form. Feel good, man. Feels great. Easy like Sunday morning. Rick and Trish Autry, their son and I served in the Marine Corps. We were in the hospital together. Bryan is his name. He's missing an arm. He's my brother from another mother. And when I moved to Tennessee, they took me in. His parents let me stay at their house and let me work on my craft and be a broke musician for a while. You know, I always told them that one day they'd see me play the Opry, and here we are.
Making his Opry debut, let's give him a warm welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Sal Gonzalez. This one goes out to all you veterans. I hope you like it, and I hope it strikes a chord. Eternally grateful for my friends who were the inspiration for it. And I'm just glad to be able to give them a voice. They threw him a party the day that he got home, and they called him a hero, but he felt all alone. I'm really excited to let people know that I'm out there and let them hear my music. Thank you so much, folks. God bless. My name is Sal Gonzalez. Honestly, it feels a bit like jumping out of a plane. Like it's a big adrenaline dump, and you don't have to jump out of a plane. All you gotta do is go play on stage.
All right, all right. Well, gosh, doesn't he seem like a straight natural on camera and stuff? I mean, I would have been so nervous, and I imagine he was, but like dude shows zero nerves going into those situations and being in front of all those cameras and having to talk about a story. But that's the thing with Sal; he's had to tell a story so many times that it just, I think, comes out very natural for him now. Um, as you guys can hear through his story, it's something that he feels comfortable with now, and it doesn't hold any kind of weight in his life to where he's stuck in it. He just great stories of resilience. And with closing these stories of resilience, I just want to say, if you're going through something out there, keep fighting, adapt and overcome your situations. I've looked at life as of recent kind of like a mountain, and I feel like each and every one of us, we're trying to climb and get to the top of this mountain. And not all of our mountains look the same, and some people's mountains are taller than others, and sometimes we have mountains that we got to climb, and then we got to climb another one another time. But eventually it'd be nice, right, to get to the top of our mountain and be able to look at everything and just reflect, right, and say, wow, it looks so much better up here and stuff. So I know sometimes the world seems like it's against us. Things seem like they're, you can't win. um you're going through a lot in your relationships. Hey, keep pushing, guys. Keep pushing out there. Keep pushing. Keep fighting. We need each and every one of you out there. Please don't become one of the statistics. You honestly are needed by each and every one of us. If you guys ever need someone to talk to out there, you guys please reach out. Feel free to contact me. Let me see if I can. The boom. My email is right below me. Please contact me if you need someone to chat with. Hit me up. As well as there's a crisis lifeline out there. You can call it 988, press 1, and hopefully they can get you pushed into a right direction of getting you some kind of help that you may need. Maybe it's resources, maybe it's you just need someone to talk to. But there's people out there. There's a lot of brothers and sisters I know out there. There's a lot of groups, communities out there as well that have open arms and want you guys to come in and be happy. Um, Happiness and all that stuff, it is literally something that we got to all find in ourselves. It's a way of living. It needs to become part of your life. The way that your lifestyle, it needs to be part of your whole lifestyle. And me myself, I'm still on my journey. This is probably the best I've done in a long time in terms of staying consistent, eating healthy, working out. I'm sure if you guys look back on the video that we just watched, you can tell I've lost some weight. I'm up to 40 pounds, and that's due to the fact that I'm staying consistent. I'm holding myself accountable. I'm not allowing myself to have excuses. These are things that always kind of held me back in the past. I've always given myself excuses as to, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. I've eliminated a lot of my excuses by bringing in a gym into my home and being able to work out on my own and can't say, oh, the elements or the gym, this or this, blah, 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 all the excuses that we like to give ourselves. I'm really trying to eliminate those excuses. something that I think that we're not very good at doing. A lot of times we're always want to hold other people accountable, and sometimes we're not good at holding ourselves accountable. I'm trying to get better with that part and holding myself accountable, and that comes in all aspects. That's like, hey, bro, I don't feel like working out today. Well, you're gonna work out today. Get yourself moving. Do what you got to do to motivate yourself. We're not gonna take today off. So unless it's a day off, and you got to give yourself time off too. I'm not saying do something so much that you end up not liking it, but the thing about it is once you get yourself into a steady routine and it becomes something that you become doing naturally all the time, it really becomes part of your life. It really does. And it gets a lot easier, trust me. Because something I've always struggled with food. I'm a foodie dude. I've always loved food. Thank God I'm not much into drinking, because if I was drinking and food, gosh dang, I would be way bigger. I don't have an excuse as to why I would have a beer gut, because I don't drink beer that often. So I can't, you know, that's why I got to work the hell out and not have a beer gut, because I don't got excuses. But it's been a hard road. It has been a hard road. And like I said, the other thing that's always holding me back is like, oh dang, dude, I hurt my back. I hurt this. And if I took one day off of working out or something, and when I wasn't supposed to, that's like almost my excuse. Well, I broke it. It's all good, Nah, it's okay. Sometimes you got to have days off that maybe aren't scheduled, but that doesn't mean, hey, we're over our regiment, take it all the way off. You might have a setback where you go to like a party and you're drinking a little bit harder, and you're like, gosh, damn, those Danishes look good, and you start grubbing. Hey, you might have one of those nights. Hey, that doesn't mean it's over. But see, my mindset used to be as like, if I did something like that, I would just say, I did it, and that'd be the end for me. But that's not always the case. But all right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's last stories of resilience. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and just remember, every one of us out there, we have resilience inside of us. Whether you're a veteran, not a veteran, we all are resilient people. We wouldn't be here as mankind if we weren't resilient. So just find that resilience in yourself. Get yourself out of those situations. Always know that sometimes the storms are going to come, but you got to weather them and get through them. And you always have friends and fam out there that are on your back, who got your back and want to see you succeed. So don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on the world. And don't quit on us. We love you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day, amazing week, amazing 2025 whenever you guys watch this. But you know how we say on the show, don't let the day kick your ass. Make sure you're out there kicking it. Until next time, we'll see you guys.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.